Think about how you measure a year. Usually, it's by the standard calendar, 12 months, school semesters, or waiting for your next birthday. For the protagonist of Esperanza Renace, early life in rural Mexico is measured by moments of immense privilege and wealth. Her biggest annual milestone is the delivery of fresh papayas for her birthday. It's a sweet, predictable tradition that is completely shattered the day she receives the news of her father's sudden death. Almost overnight, her family's wealth is taken from them. To survive, Esperanza and her mother are forced to flee across the border into California. She trades a sprawling estate for the stark reality of a farm worker settlement, surrounded by makeshift shacks and dirt pathways. In this harsh new environment, relying on a standard 12-month calendar to track time no longer makes sense. For a migrant worker, time is measured entirely by the exhausting seasons of the crop harvest. The author, Pam Muñoz Ryan, uses this agricultural cycle to structure the entire novel, naming almost every chapter after a specific fruit or vegetable. The first major stop on her new harvest calendar is Las Cebollas, or onions. Here, Esperanza faces a basic chore and realizes she doesn't even know how to hold a broom to sweep dried onion skins off a wooden platform, leading to deep humiliation in front of the camp. The lessons get harder as the wheel turns to las ciruelas, plums. Left in charge of watching two babies, Esperanza feeds them raw plums. Because she doesn't know any better, the uncooked fruit makes the infant severely ill. Panic sets in as she sees the physical toll of her mistake. Her lack of basic life skills now carries dangerous real-world consequences for the people around her. These early chapter titles represent a gauntlet of failures. Esperanza is forced to endure them to realize she is no longer a protected child. Moving deeper into the year, the calendar lands on Las Papas, or potatoes, marking a period of desperate, relentless action. With her mother falling sick, Esperanza steps up as a provider. She works exhaustively cutting the eyes out of potatoes just to earn enough to pay the mounting medical bills. The pressure peaks during Los Asparagos, the asparagus harvest. She has to pack the crops while navigating the mounting tension and violent threats of worker strikes surrounding the camp. This brings us to a clear physical marker of her shift, los aguacates, the avocados. She begins applying a mixture of avocado and glycerin to her skin. The fatty oils sink into the cracks in her hands, offering the only relief she can find from the constant bleeding of fieldwork. The soft, manicured hands of her past life have been entirely replaced by the stained, calloused skin of a laborer. The avocado treatment marks a psychological breakthrough. Esperanza stops wishing for her old life and begins to embrace the strength of her new identity. Finally, we reach the last rotation of the harvest year. The novel begins with a chapter called Las Uvas, grapes, set in Mexico, and it ends with a chapter of the exact same name set in California. This full circle proves that exactly 1 year has passed, tracking a complete cycle of death and rebirth. Just as crops are uprooted, endure a harsh winter in the dirt, and eventually bear fruit, Esperanza survives her own violent uprooting to grow into a capable, mature woman. When you are studying literature, pay attention to these choices. Authors often use physical environments and chapter titles to map out a character's internal emotional journey. When a chapter title seems like a simple list of ingredients, watch how the character handles them. In the hands of a great author, even a potato or an onion can reveal the growth of a person's character.